on it. I don't feel the electronic reaction. Ah, it's not working. Hi folks, thank you for checking out my video on how to get the trunk of your Model 3 to open again. I have a 2018 Tesla Model 3. The trunk of this vehicle is not working, it is stuck. In this video, I'm going to do a walkthrough on how to identify what the causes are and show you how I fix the problem and get the trunk to open again. Stay tuned and I will walk you through the whole process. So when the trunk is stuck, you can't open it from the back of the trunk. You cannot open it using the app or the monitor. So you need to go to the back seat of your vehicle. Your vehicle has an emergency latch that you can open from within, and you pull the seat over like so, and then you have to either crawl in or get a stick. You will see the glow here or the emergency button here. You need to push it forward to release the actuator, the latch here, so that the trunk can open manually. So now you can open the trunk. There we go. So when the trunk is not working, there are three main possible issues. The first issue is the switch. The switch is located here. If there is something wrong with the switch circuitry and it's not allowing electricity to go through, that could be the cause of why you can't open the trunk. The other piece of it too is the actuator. Here's the actuator itself. It's located right underneath the switch at the edge of the trunk. When this is not working, when there's something wrong mechanically, that could cause a problem. Or if the switch is not allowing electricity to go through here, that could be the problem as well. So we're going to take both the switch and the actuator out to see if they are the cause of the problem. And then the last piece, right? So you have the switch, you have the actuator. The last piece is the harness, okay? Because when you close the trunk and multiple times, as you can see here, there's a little bend here. Eventually, over time, all the wires that are containing in the harness can break, and that would not allow electricity to go through the switch or the actuator for you to open the trunk. All right. So I'm hoping that it is either the switch or the actuator, because these are the two easiest things to fix or to replace. If it is the trunk harness here, I have to take many parts out of the vehicle in order to fix it, and it's going to take a longer time to do it. I'm going to show you how to take these guys out of the vehicle, and hopefully we can solve the problem by the end of the day. First, so in order to get to the switch, you have to remove the panels here. Get your finger in there and then pull them like so. There are clips that attach the frames together that can easily pull off. Pretty easy to take out. Put your finger along the edges and then pull it down. As you can see here, you have this green button here that connects the panel to the metal part of the trunk. So here's what the wiring looks like. You see all these wirings here. The switch button is right there. So there it is. There's that switch. You'll notice there's a connector here that is connected to the rear camera. There's also a connector here that is connected directly to the switch itself. And alongside the switch and the rear camera, you have these two clips here. In order to remove the switch off the trunk, you have to pinch this clip here and the one on this side here. Pinch it and then push it into the frame so that you can release it from the outside. To remove the connector here, you pull up the top part here and then you pinch it in and pull it out. You pinch this in and then pull it out. I'm going to put my camera down so I can use two hands to remove these items. So I already squeezed the clips together, and what you do is just push it from the inside. Push it through these holes here for it to come off. So this is what the switch looks like. So what I'm doing here is I gently use the flat screwdriver to squeeze from the bottom. I am isolating the switch from the camera. You don't have to do this, but I just want to see the circuitry of the switch. There we go. And then just work from this end. There we go. Okay. So you gotta push it all the way to this angle so you can get it out. Okay, so there's a little tiny hole there on the side, on each side. Luckily I found this one in my garage. I'm just gonna use that. Push it in to remove it out of the way. So you have two springs here, just like that. This is the switch. It looks pretty good. When I push on the switch, it's making really good contact. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a continuity test because this is hard to reach. Luckily, I found these in my toolbox. So I'm going to make that connection right there with the two tiny pins there. Okay, first I have the multimeter to the continuity dial here. As you can see, this sound wave looking thing, and you can see that sound wave sign here as well. And it says open line OL. So I'm going to test it first. Okay, it's continuity, but there's some number going. But you're listening for the sound, so I'm going to put this on, and then turn it off first, and turn it back on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hear sound. Yeah. So there is continuity. When I click on the switch here, electricity is flowing through the switch. So it is not the switch. This is still working. And so I can rule this out. So here's the actuator. Here's the mechanical part. I'm going to have to take this out, isolate it from the electrical component. I think that's a 10mm nuts there. Take it off. It should come off pretty easily here. I'm going to lock it and then run electricity through it to open it. So when I push this in, it locks. Boom. So now it's in a locked position right there. There's 3 leads right there. So I connect this to the middle lead there. Let's test this out. If it works, that means I am in deep trouble because it's a deeper electrical problem. If it doesn't work, that means the problem is the actuator here. Then I can just simply switch it, right? Make this line. Do it. Okay, wow. See how it opens up right here? Let me do it again. Show you. It's closed. And now it's gonna open up. Boom. So obviously this is not the result I was hoping for. I was hoping that either the switch or the actuator would not work. So this way it'll be a simple replacement. But now it looks like I have to deal with the harness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the Tesla service center in the city. Hopefully they have one on site, purchase it, come back and replace it. So I went to the Tesla service center. Let's take a look at the harness itself. It doesn't look like it's very complicated. It's just plug and play. They charged me $70 for it, so it's not bad at all comparing to if they have to put man hour to do this job. So here's a brand new harness. As you can see here, it's plug and play. So I just need to figure out which trim or lining I need to remove, which I will show you. These are pretty easy. You can see these along the trunk when you open up, and you can take a picture of how it is currently installed and then use that as a map to reconnect these wires to the trunk. Hopefully this is the culprit. I think it is. Let's see if it works. So you can take a snapshot of all the wirings here. So this way you know where to place these wires. It's easy, just plug and play. When you open and close like so, eventually you stretch and pull, the wires inside will become disconnected. That's when you don't have electricity coming through here. So the disconnect might be somewhere around here, but we don't know for sure. So from now, we're just going to figure out how to remove this harness here and where the connection takes place from the main battery to the back. You can see this part of the harness will go to the back of the trunk. Also, there are 3 connectors here. It will be connected to the main battery. So let's take a look. All right. This part of the harness will be connected through this area here. You see this one here will be connected to here, and then the bottom there will be connected to here, right? So The biggest part here is how to find the location for the connector for here. As you can see, it's very short. Just looking at it, it cannot be way down here. So it has to be somewhere around here, which means that I'm going to have to open up the back seat like so, disconnect this panels here to get there, remove this part here as well, and then the upper lining here as well. So that, there we go, it looks like this. And then there's also another one here as well. All right, so I remove the clips here. I can't take it off completely without having to remove this here, which will also requires me to also remove this trim as well. All right, folks, so to remove the side here, as you can see, there's a latch here on the side, and there's also a bigger latch on the side here as well. So this latch connects to this one here, and this bigger one here connects to this one here. I use this to open up here, and then this one's easy to come off on the side, but the back one is kind of hard, so you have to use a little bit of strength to pull it out. So here we go, it comes off. The bottom here also connects to here as well. Put that on the side. Now I also have to take this part out in order to remove the trim here. For the side trim here, I recommend having one of these tools here. You basically insert it. There we go. So there's also a side trim here as well. So I recommend removing the side trim. There we go. Boom. Cool. And then this should come off. It should come off pretty easily. But it seems like there's also a latch in there that's really hard to get out, because the room is pretty narrow. There's not a lot of room to work with. So you just have to be patient. So I use this here, and I put it right there, and then press it against the window, and I heard it snap. So loosening it up. There we go. All right. Okay, so it comes off right there, as you can see. There's two here, so it's really hard to remove. There's also a latch here as well. So I'm not going to remove it off completely. What's going on here? So there's also some attachment here. So you want to be careful not to break this off completely. So I'll just leave it hanging like that. After this panel comes off, the next is to remove the bottom part here. As you can see, this is the airbag. So the next piece here, to remove this, I have to remove this panel here. So with this one is pretty easy. All you have to do is move it towards you like that, and then see it, there's a hook that hooks up to the bottom piece. So I'm going to remove the bottom piece here like so. Just let it hang to the side. Alright folks, so I can't seem to remove this piece here. This is like a safety feature for the airbag. So when the airbag goes off, this whole panel here won't fly off and hit your face, which is good, but it's so difficult to remove it from this latch here. So I'm going to just leave it there. So it looks like this here. There's two parts here that connects to the little place here. So as you can see, you really have to twist it 2 times to try to get it out, which makes it hard for it to fly off and hit your face when the airbag goes off. So, but I'm going to just leave it dangling here and then see if I can push this open here. And so in order to lift this up here, what I did earlier was I put my hands around here and here and just kind of pull it upward like so, and it did come off. You can see here, now I have access to the plugs there. Now I can see the location of the plugs. I do have to take the bottom trim of the the trunk here out, so this way I can see a little bit more what's going on there, because the location of the plugs are right there. So if I can take these guys out, then I can open this up. I can see what's going on a little bit more. But let me see what's happening here. I think these you can just pull off. So, yep. So you can just pull it off like so. Comes off pretty easily. So there's a clip here. You need to remove that, and then once you remove that, you can pull it off. There goes that latch. Alright, so this sucker finally comes off. Looks like that. It's like a push pin kind of situation there. And so now you can pull these guys out. Trim out, see? On both sides. Comes off. Whew. Got a whole bunch of stuff here now. So these are the 3 plugs that we have to plug in, as you can see here. Because it's hard to reach, I just wanted to take a minute to show you. You have to pinch the top part here so that the bottom part, this little notch here, can slide off the latch. The same thing here. Find a way to pinch the top part here. So as you can see here, this one can also unlatch from the female plug. And then you have to also install ground, and it looks like you have to take off a bolt or a screw. There's also another clip here that you need to take off. So I removed the trims from both sides of the vehicle, and the reason for that is because there's just not enough space to work on the plugs and the ground wire. So it does take a little more time, but it's better in order to get room. So I'm going to open this up, just a little tug there, remove this panel here toward the front to create that opening there. So then there's an opening right here, as you can see. I can reach in from behind the trunk. There'll be an opening like that. Now you see the plugs are visible for you to actually work from here. I'm going to insert something underneath just to create a gap big enough to work on the plug. So there's plenty of room for me to reach my hand in there and unplug the plug. Okay, so once you open this up, you can see the plug wires are connected to these clips here. Needle nose here, kind of pinch it. There we go. That will give me just a little bit of flexibility to unplug the wire. For this piece here, I actually have to go underneath and then reach in to kind of feel my way to unplug the plug. So ignore my butt here. Alright folks, you can see there, the wires are unplugged. But if you remember, there's one piece there right here that's holding it in the car, and it's just a little bit off there. We have to remove that piece too. So it's right here. Alright, so I'm just gonna snip it off completely. So I got my 10mm on the ground wire counterclockwise. So here's a 10mm to the ground wire. So now that it's been removed, we can pull the wires out from the vehicle and hook the right there. Voila, I got them. Takes forever. So the hard part is done. Now I'm going to disconnect all the wires to the different components here, and I'm going to show you how to replace the new harness. And then I can remove the pin later. Just do that. Now remember to take pictures of these so you know exactly where all the plugs are. For this one here, you pull this white part out like so, and then you pinch it, and then you pull it out. To remove the plug from the light here, it's really hard to do. I recommend that you push the light off the hole here by pinching here, and then also unplug it from the outside. There's a little tiny hole here you need to pinch in order to release the little tiny hook that you can't see here from the light. All right, work it outside. You know, you have to push that little hole there to release the little tiny hook to disconnect. So, and then you can plug the light back in like so. Now for these straps here, since you're not using it anymore, you can just forcefully use this to kind of pry it out, right? There you go. See, look. Yep, I got one more stubborn clip to go here. So everything is almost removed. So again, just gonna stubbornly pry this guy open. And then after that, you can remove them right here. Just pull them out. So let me get this guy out. There we go. Whew. Last piece coming off. Now you can just shove everything through here, pull them out. All right. Whew. Wow. So these guys are out. So I'm curious to see what's happening inside here. So this is the part where it's most likely there's a disconnect or one of the wires had broken off. It's because of there's a lot of action going on here when you open and close the trunk. So I'm going to cut this open up. Make sure I don't cut any wire. So I'm going to see if I can, if there's a disconnect, then one of these guys will come loose. If there's something broke. Oh, right there. Yep, found it. This guy broke. Let me find where the other, oh, this also broke. Two of these wires. This one broke. Crazy. Yeah, it all happened here in this area where there's a lot of activity going on there. So that's why it was not working, because it broke. And this one is about to break, as you can see here. Right here. Wow. So anyway, $71, maybe another 5 years, it's going to also break. But in any case, now I know how to fix it, and so are you, I think. Okay, so for this part here, it's important that you hook up this part first, and it goes behind this thing here, because you don't want it to be between here, because then it's going to cut the harness. So you want to go behind here. Yeah, nice. So pretty easy here. You just clip them and insert the latch here. Pretty easy. Boom, boom. From here, this one, you have to put in all the wires first. Insert them. They all have to come out. Alright folks, so this goes behind, comes up here, as you can see, and then now here, this is the ground wire, right there, that will go there, this one here, going there. So everything is back in place, the actuator is plugged in, the switch is also plugged in as well, and then now I'm just going to have to tighten up the last ground wire. Whew. I'm tightening the ground wire. So now that the wires are in, I just place it back on there. Get the side trim back on, and then this is pushed back. Now I gotta do this whole side. So it's just reverse of what you've done before. Side is so much easier to put back on. I got lucky on this one. Boom. Nice. back. Latch there. There we go. Just finished putting the other side trim on. You see? Whew. We're back in business. Alright folks, so I'm a little nervous. I hope this works. I have not put the trim back on yet, just in case. But everything looks like it's secure. So I'm going to close the trunk. Cool. Okay, so here we go. Oh my god. No way. So it is a harness. $71 harness. Whew. See the app. So we're going to do control. We're going to do trunk. No way. It's cool. I don't have a power trunk, guys, but I might have to install a power trunk. But this is awesome. So to put this panel back onto the trunk, you want to reattach all the green buttons here. You can leave the white ones here. This one is hard to take out, and I saw another video on how to put this, and I thought that was helpful, so I'm going to try to put it back the way they put it back. So here's how I'm doing this. I am attaching one of the clips here, and this gives this area a lot of leeway. You can see the white clip there, and what I can do is I can then try to maneuver the slot here into place. Alright, so I got one in place here. You want to slide these holes here from the side and then push it in. Here we go. I bent it back really hard and then fit it in there. So it went in. So now I gotta push. Cool. With that, thank you for watching my video. I hope it was helpful. A long day. I think it took me more than 3 hours to do this, but it's not bad. I feel satisfied. I didn't have to spend a lot of money, and plus I love to do this kind of things. It's relaxes me. Just have a lot of patience, and you can learn a lot by doing this, and then from here you can do other stuff too. So that's how I start doing, you know, DIY stuff. I just start doing things and learning the process. So I feel good about this project. I hope you liked the video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much.